Broadcasting live from Oberlin College. Welcome to the inaugural edition of FearlessandLoathing.com's The Wisdom Show. I'm Nick Perry. We have a great show for you today, and other than this set behind me, you have no reason to believe otherwise, so let's get to it. We start our show with the most pressing, most compelling, most salacious story of the week, Halloween. This year, once again, Oberlin failed to follow in step with popular dress-up tradition, and I'd like to take this moment to express my sincere gratitude to all Oberlin students for repudiating mainstream thought and dressing as Winnie the Pooh and a whoopee cushion, rather than Pirate Wench or Sexy Moses. Speaking of Sexy Moses, Amos Oz, the Israeli candidate for the Nobel Prize in Literature and world-renowned peace advocate, was in West Lecture Hall speaking on the political role of intellectuals. Yes, that's what Sir Salman Rushdie spoke to us about 3 weeks ago, and yes, they both share many of the same motives for their political activism. But isn't it great that there are so many ways to say that the literati should run the world? That's why I'm an English major. We're on the political up and up. Mr. Oz is the 41st greatest Israeli of all time, according to news website Ynet, making him the greatest Israeli to set foot in Oberlin this semester. Itzhak Perlman ranks a mere 135th. This week, the Con crowned 4 champions in its annual concerto competition. The winners are violinist Holly Jenkins, flautist Bonja Kim, violinist Nathan Lesser, and pianist Daniel Walden, all of the class of 2012. A great scare was averted on performance day when they all actually showed up. There have been missing person reports filed on each of them. Turns out they were just practicing. In economic news, the Obi dollar has gained new currency. No longer limited to debaucherous late-night deliveries from Domino's, you may now buy Beethoven's bagels at Azariah's Cafe. We turn now to our senior freshman correspondent, Sophie Harari, with the story on the sexiest new facilities manager at Oberlin College.
Oberlin's Adam Joseph Lewis Center for Environmental Studies celebrated its 10th anniversary last June. Its brand new facilities manager, Sean Hayes, was 19 when the building was built. For those of you humanities students, that makes him 29, totally gorgeous, and really married.
Even without audio, between his twinkling eyes and boyish grin, you can tell that Sean has a lot to offer. But his job isn't just to look good. He also oversees all components of the AJLC, encourages community and alumni outreach, gives tours to fortunate visitors, and helps run the Living Machine, the AJLC's small-scale sewage system. To get the scoop on what he's been up to the last 3 weeks, we sat down with senior Leah Pellant, who's been showing Sean the ropes. She's the head student at the Living Machine and the luckiest girl in the world.
We spend a lot of time wandering around in the corners of the AJLC and the annex and, standing up in the little attic space above the AV room and discussing which way you have to flip things to get everything to run right. But yeah, we get to do labs together. We get to clean things together. We get to cut plants together.
I was feeling a little jealous, but if anyone's earned the privilege to spend quality alone time with Sean, it's probably Leah. She's been at the Living Machine since she was a freshman and has helped spearhead 3 years' worth of poop campaigns. They're those things that happen once a semester and pay you a quarter every time you poop in the AJLC. Talking to Leah had made me even more curious about Sean. To find out how he got interested in the environment, I sat down with the man himself.
One of the things that kind of got me down this path is a little ironic. I was fixing up an old Ford Bronco. I kind of got into energy efficiency work by working on an incredibly inefficient vehicle, but it kind of got me back into working with systems and getting my hands on things and fixing them, and that combined with my interest in renewable energy, just being relatively young and having to look at where we're headed in the future.
Thinking about Sean working on a truck was a little distracting, but I wanted to know more. I had heard that in addition to having a pretty face, Sean had a huge brain. When I asked him what he was most looking forward to in the months to come, it showed.
I'm a little bit of a nerd, and so I'm really excited to dig into this building. There's such a history behind it. I mean, I was able to go and check out the book written on this building from, my graduate library, and to have, 12 years of existence and hundreds of data sensors logging on it. The research mechanic, dork in me wants to pick that apart and really dig into it and make this building, perform at the highest level that it can.
Leah's confident that when shit hits the fan next semester during the poop campaign, Sean will have a lot to bring to the table.
I imagine that he'll come up with some good ideas. I I am excited to see what they will be. And then he's also like a real person, and so the administration kind of listens to him. Yeah, and that means that he can get shit done.
Sure, Sean is a hardworking, super intelligent, fast-learning, motivated, charming, focused, curious, passionate, eloquent guy with a stacked resume, but I had a hunch that I hadn't found out the true reason he's now employed at Oberlin.
Well, you know, he was hired 95% on the basis of his good looks as per Oberlin's hiring rules, so clearly we're expecting that that will impact the poop campaign for the better.
I mean, I guess I am the new person here, so here's the new face. I don't know if I really have any thoughts on it, you know, beyond that point.
Looks aside, Sean is an enthusiastic, passionate guy who's really excited about his new job. We're excited too. If you're not going to poop for a quarter, poop for Sean.
Thanks for that hard-shitting story, Sophie. Viewers, remember, you have a choice in where you do your business, so go poop for Sean and save the world. And now to the week in sports. Men's and women's soccer both lost their final games of the season and will not advance to the playoffs, but we knew that in August. Yo football dropped their game against Ohio Wesleyan, leaving them at 2-7 on the season. Women's volleyball is, in astonishing good news, the women's cross-country team earned their third consecutive NCAC title, making it by far the most successful athletics program that nobody knew existed. Back to reality. This coming week is one of the most aggravating of the semester, and it has practically nothing to do with this semester. It's registration week. And while most of you have 0% chance of getting your ideal schedule, it's nonetheless important to be at your computer at your registration time. If you wait more than 15 minutes, you won't be getting any classes in your major. Just kidding. Convocation this week will be Jaron Lanier, 21st century Renaissance man and every pothead's pipe dream. Mr. Lanier is a computer scientist, composer, visual artist, and author, and is widely accredited for popularizing the term virtual reality. Lanier has been at the forefront of technological developments in medicine, design, electronics, and World of Warcraft weaponry. He also looks like hipster Jesus. Mr. Lanier will be appearing holographically in Finney Chapel on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. That does it for this edition of FearlessandLoathing.com's The Wisdom Show. I'm Nick Perry. Stay fearless, Oberlin, like these rhinos.